We're back on the ARKAST.
Welcome back to everybody. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, welcome to the ARKAST.
Yeah.
We're
It wouldn't be an
drinking,
ARKAST without Aidan Callahan.
And without a few small beers.
A few small beers.
Mm-hmm.
Reference if you caught that one.
Yes. Well, I mean, of course.
Of course.
Today's the big promised one battle after another episode.
Yeah, everyone was asking for it, so we finally decided to give you what you were asking for.
Yes.
And stop delaying.
To get the take. Yeah.
Yeah, to stop delaying when you're going to get the thing that you wanted the most.
Yeah. But before we get into it, did you watch any other interesting movies recently since we've last chatted?
That's a good question. I've been watching a little bit of like little tidbits of this show called The Gilded Age.
Oh yeah.
'Cause my grandma watches that.
Of course.
So I've been seeing little bits and pieces. And it's an interesting looking thing. It's like a little bit, it takes some influence from what's that new one? Bridgerton? Takes a little Bridgerton influence, takes a little Downtown Abbey influence.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the perfect meshing that like a grandma would want to see. It's
yeah,
like
of course. They love the
ultimate
costume pieces and the snippy comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma's real hooked into it.
No, I mean, that's just like a cool age, the Gilded Age,
Yeah.
you know, good time for it. But no, it's funny you mentioned the Downton Abbey connection because I've been watching all the Robert Altman movies because they got them on the Criterion Collection. And he's got this 2001 movie called Gosford Park, which is like, you know, like early 1900s, like murder mystery in a fancy elite manor. And there's the upstairs and the downstairs. And I didn't realize that it was literally like the inspiration for Downton Abbey until after I watched it. Downton Abbey is a Robert Altman baby.
Damn,
now
okay.
You know too. Well, because no, it's like, you know, Maggie Smith's there doing her snippy comments the whole time. Like,
oh, really? That's her. I didn't know that was her.
And then, yeah, and they do put her in Downton Abbey.
That's cool. Yeah, that shows like the ultimate.
The ultimate
I don't
old
want to
person.
say, yeah, I don't want to say it, but
No, but
ultimate
it's so
old
funny.
person / girl event.
No, but it's like, I haven't seen it, but I know what you mean, because when I was watching Gosford Park, I couldn't help but think that it's so funny that Robert Altman, who was like 80-something by this point, like at the point where they have to have the backup director so the movie can be insured, you know? He decides to make like the most old man movie of all time. It's not a movie for laughs, it's a movie for chortles, you know?
Okay.
Snippy little comments in the ballroom.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But
I
it is
see what
fun.
you mean.
Yeah.
I see what you mean by chortles.
Yes. Like, oh, Maggie, you dame.
I just remember seeing her going off in one of like the trailers for the new movie where she just like pushed like a vase off the shelf and was like, oops.
Oh, of course.
And it's like, okay, I was like, immediately the message was sent and received.
Yeah.
I understood. I was like, oh.
No, it's like, okay, that's her whole vibe. And no, it works. It works really damn well, you know? If you want that kind of vibe.
I don't remember. Was she sassing it up in Harry Potter? I don't even remember.
Well, a little bit, but she's McGonagall. She's like, oh, you students. Like, oh, she's not that, like the meme. Like, why is it always you three?
She seemed to be like, her role was kind of like the, you little rascals.
Like, oh, you rascals.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, yeah, so it's a lot of fun British people. And then I've also been watching, for Halloween, I'm trying to watch some Cronenberg. So I watched The Fly last night.
Oh, man.
I wanted to watch it with you, and you couldn't.
No, I mean, okay, so I don't have a problem with the gore. It just gets to a point where it's like, I know what the movie's I know that I will watch it eventually, but there's just some times where you're like, oh, I can't do a whole movie of this, you know, this type of experience, you know?
That's the thing, though. It was a good movie, and it really gets to the gnarly effects eventually, but it takes its time to get there.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I was surprised comparing it to, I've mostly seen like modern Cronenbergs where he can just like really do whatever he wants, and it is like disgusting the whole time. This really was surprisingly like a big 80s blockbuster. Like, you know, Jeff Goldblum's just like having fun for most of the time.
We also watched Friendship, the Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd movie, which I thought was pretty decent. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really sure how they would balance like the, it would seem difficult to do a whole movie that's like a Tim Robinson sketch. So they dialed it back a little bit, made it somewhat more normal, so that his like weird performance like could be grounded a little bit. So I thought that was a wise decision, because if they didn't do that, it would have probably been like unbearable to watch a whole movie of, just crazy.
Yeah, you couldn't do like 2 hours of like one of his more you gotta give type characters that are like full crazy. So yeah, it's nice just to have like he's just a normal suburban dad who says things like the new Marvel is nuts, and it's
very NPC movie. Very.
Oh, dude, you gotta start watching The Chair Company.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just spoiling one gag, just because you say it's an NPC movie.
Spoil away.
Just one single gag. 'Cause I was thinking exactly that in the first episode. There's a part where he's like a little sad. He goes on Google, just types in emotional music. It just plays the first thing, and it's such a good bit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Chair Company, highly recommend.
Is it more serious than I Think You Should Leave? Like,
oh, definitely.
Okay, nice.
It's very friendship, directed by the same guy.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of his take on kind of like a 70s paranoia thriller. So it definitely is very similar in tone to Friendship, with like the cringe, mundane.
There were parts that were really hard to watch, which I mean, I guess is a testament to the to Tim Robinson's performance, but just a lot of painful stuff takes you back to The Office or something like that, where I think The Office kind of devolved into silly antics at a certain point, but there was
it's the cringe
in the early days. It was a little bit more,
a
little bit more cringe centric in the early days.
Yeah, I think most cringe show. Do you think it's early Office? I'd say early Curb.
I'd say
maybe some late Curb.
I'd say rewatching The Office. It's kind of like. I feel like because it's either that I've watched it too many times, or like it's just so in the cultural zeitgeist that I don't feel as like weirded out or shocked by the antics. Like Michael, it just like when he does something weird, it makes sense. Versus when it aired, it was probably like a revolutionarily insane type of character.
You have to wonder if in like...
Because the first time I watched it, that's how I felt. I was like, oh, this guy is fucking insane. Like, just like... And he does a great job, like, grounding the character, too. So it makes it extra crazy.
No, I think that's an interesting point where it's like... I feel like so many things post-Office tried to hit that kind of vibe. That specific Michael Scott vibe. That it seems so much less revelatory.
Right.
It seems more normal.
It's like watching like an old horror movie, and it's like, this was the scariest movie back in its day. And then, you know.
And no, exactly. I was going to say, I wonder if in 10 years people are going to look at like, I Think You Should Leave clips and be like, he's just yelling. People thought this was like the
This isn't that
comedy.
weird. Yeah, maybe it gets weirder. Maybe it gets more normal.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I definitely actually think that rewatches might be a theme for this episode, because
that's you rewatched both of
yes
those films.
Friendship was a rewatch, and this was my third time
one
seeing battle after another in the theaters.
What was the other time?
I saw it alone opening night.
I
saw it with our good pal, friend of the podcast, Peter. The last time, then this time.
Nice.
And no, because that's the thing. Usually I'm not a rewatch guy, but this movie just kept pulling me back, and I kept really wanting to show people.
Yeah.
So should we launch into our discussion?
We can, yeah.
Because the first thing I wanted to ask you was, well, we just start with like, what's your relationship with PTA and Paul Thomas Anderson movies?
We have a good relationship. We're best buds.
Of course.
Yeah,
yes.
We'll call a couple times a week and just catch up. I trying to remember the first, like, my introduction probably would have been I don't know, it's hard to remember. Maybe it was Boogie Nights or Punch Drunk Love. It might have been Punch Drunk Love. I think that's the first one of his I saw. First time I saw it, I was like, I didn't really get it. There were parts of it I liked, but I didn't really get it. And then, rewatching it, an amazing film, so good. And then
could be
might be There'll Be Blood though. That one, that's a great film. Love There'll Be Blood. That one I like instantly connected with and was like, oh shit, this is a masterpiece.
But you haven't seen all of them. Like I know you haven't seen. You mentioned you
haven't seen
Inherent
Magnolia.
Vice.
Haven't seen Inherent Vice.
Magnolia. Oh,
I think I've seen every other one though.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know what others there are.
Have you seen The Master?
Yeah, I've seen The Master.
Yeah, and Hard 8. That's the one that most people haven't seen.
Oh, that's his first one, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Hard 8.
Started it, did not finish it, but it's fun.
Oh.
Well, no, it wasn't like that. It was like started it at 2 a.m. thinking it was a double feature type of night, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, so I'd say I first didn't. I was like, I guess I was getting into him early on because it's kind of like one of like the early. If you like, I don't want to even say film, bro, but like if you're like getting into like, oh, I need to watch all the best movies, best rated movies ever, like that's kind of like one of the mainstream guys, like Quentin Tarantino and then Paul Thomas Anderson. Like there's kind of like the mainstream guys, and you're like, oh, I need to like watch all of their movies. So it's kind of like probably like early on into my like delving into film, so kind of like didn't really like appreciate it as much because I saw it so early on, and then like revisiting it was when I was like, oh wow, like this is really way better than like a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah. See, I'm with you because I first saw my first PTA was definitely There Will Be Blood when I was like a kid, like kid, like 12, like in that era where I'm like, I'm gonna be a film guy. I'm gonna watch all these great films. Yeah. And so I watched like There Will Be Blood.
12 years old trying to watch There Will Be Blood.
No, yeah, that's the thing. I really didn't get it, and in that era when I was doing this, like, yeah, I really feel like it's like, you hate to say it, was like I think a better introductory filmmaker, the one that really hit me was always like Tarantino. Like I feel like for better and for worse, his movies are very good, like intro to cinema. Whereas I feel like PTA can be a lot more like if you kind of know. Yeah, it's like you don't want to say it like that because you don't want to be like,
but I mean, you know,
I would say put it more like building off of other great films. You know what I mean? It's kind of like because so the last time I watched before I saw One Battle After Another for the first time was I finally rewatched There Will Be Blood. And oh man, it's just so good. It's just so goddamn revelatory. But I feel like you just need to like have like I feel like you just need to know about capitalism as a thing.
Maybe
like the evils of it.
I guess you could just enjoy it as like a. I don't
True,
know. It's like a really, colonial. He's built. It's like a big. He's building.
It is really epic and like, and that's the thing about it. Another great thing about There Will Be Blood is that it's both kind of this great deep text. And it's this very big kind of blockbuster that like any old dad could enjoy.
Right.
But I feel like the real strength of it is that it has both, you know? And I feel like it can be at an advantage to have some knowledge of what PTA is trying to get at with his movies. Especially his later movies. Like Boogie Nights and Magnolia, those are more just kind of fun, but...
yeah, I mean... I don't know. I honestly think that at least like for his older movie, it seems like the main point wasn't the it's like, oh, it's a metaphor is capitalism. It seems like a lot of his movies I was always getting the read that it was like the backdrop for like the human drama. So that's why I found it interesting to this is kind of his biggest foray into like political commentary almost like so I don't know, it was an interesting switch up from his usual self.
So they were transitioning to One Battle, but I would say I think that's an interesting take just because just like you look at something though like There Will Be Blood and that's so much about like the politics. So I guess it's just more about like economics than politics.
That one's definitely like, I guess maybe I'm trying to think of what differentiates it, but I think in There Will Be Blood, it feels very like natural. It doesn't feel like, it feels like something that's just like makes sense and is incorporated into like the story of which the main focus is like the human drama. And you could say the same about this one. I guess it was like a little, maybe it was just because it was a lot more overt because they're like literally shouting like
Viva la Revolution.
Like it's yeah. So it's like a little bit more in your face as it was compared to There Will Be Blood. It's like you can read into it if you think about it for 5 seconds, but if you're just watching like the drama, it's not as like overplayed as it is in this in this film.
And I feel like that's a good transition to like literally the start of the movie, because I feel like that first section is kind of, well, it's all pretty political, but like especially the first section, because it literally starts, one of the first shots is the detention camp, and the whole first sequence of them breaking the migrants out of the detention center. But so I feel like it's very like overtly political on the surface level, but I feel like there's also this angle where it's like, I feel like every time I rewatch it, I realize like that's so much more in the background, and it really is just kind of like just like a love story and like a parent story, especially. Yeah, because it's one thing to like make a movie like about white supremacy as an idea, and I feel like this movie is kind of more just about like, what if a white supremacist had a mixed race child? Like, what would that character look like? What would the drama unfold from there? I think that's kind of the smart writing of it.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of still having to think about it. 'Cause, I mean, we just watched it.
We're fresh from the theaters, folks.
But
it's a lot to take in.
It's honestly something, I don't know, the angle. I was very much trying to, like, the whole time. I don't feel like I ever really got a full grasp, but I was trying to figure out the whole time like what the angle was. Like, I was trying to figure out like is this meant to be a morally good, like, these, because the characters.
Are you talking about the angle of the whole film, or the angle on, I guess, Sean Penn's character? On Lockjaw.
On just like all of the characters, like we could go character by character. Like, for instance, like the Perfidia? Like the least likable one.
Oh, like, here we go.
Well, come on, she abandons her.
She is a rat.
Yeah,
she's a rat.
So, but like, so the character that's like the mother of like the main.
Yeah. Are we assuming our audience has seen or has not seen the movie?
I think we can just delve right. I think.
No, it's like full spoilers.
Yeah, like
if you hadn't seen the movie, this is the mother of the main character, revolutionary.
Yes.
Who ends up ratting everybody out. Yeah,
ratting everyone out and abandoning her newborn child, basically.
Yes.
So, So it's interesting. I was intrigued by, they're trying to, like, obviously this is not like the only movie to do this, but it's like an intriguing idea, like, oh, we're gonna play with like they do this, which the audience would assign good moral value to it, then they do this, and so it's like, oh, they're complicated, and but for some characters it seemed like, for that one it seemed like didn't really like get to go in that deep with, because they kind of just like leave. And then for the Sean Penn character, that was also like a little puzzling, because it was like okay, they're obviously going for a little bit of, they're making him a little more silly. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, okay, is there? So, I mean, I thought it was amusing. He joins his, like, I don't know,
the Christmas Adventure Society,
the secret society.
Let me also just throw out there that you left for the bathroom during that scene, and I was like, this is actually kind of an important scene to get kind of the tone of the political angle they're doing. Not that it's that important, just in the sense that it's like, it's just kind of like they do this whole serious scene, and then like at the end it's like, well, welcome to welcome to the Christmas Adventurers Club,
Yeah.
And I can't even do it justice.
The white only Christmas Adventurers Club, I guess.
Yes.
Where they,
so there's like
Hail Saint Nick or whatever.
Hail Saint Nick.
So that, I mean, it was amusing. I was just like kind of trying to wonder, like, okay, is this just comedic, or like is he trying to get at something? It was just I guess maybe if I sit with it more, it'll make more sense. But I think there were certain aspects that I was like wasn't entirely sure, like, okay, what's the angle, like what?
First, let me say that it's so I think when we're talking about like the politics of, I think the real strength of the writing, just like this is a piece of drama. And this is similar to, I don't know if you remember our last episode, I was talking about how Eddington is good because it doesn't really have like an angle or a take. It's just a drama that like grows out. So it's like, I don't think PTA wants necessarily, like obviously he wants us to think that Lockjaw is like foolish and like an idiot and like evil in many ways. And he's kind of the driving, like one of the only characters that has such a clear place in the film. Then you look at someone like Perfidia Beverly Hills, and I think that's a character that he really does not cast so much judgment on, like through his filmmaking camera, because he knows the audience will already cast judgment on her in a lot of ways. And I think she's a really complicated character. And every time I see the movie, it just like deepens it for me. Where it's like the first time I saw it, I was just like, yeah, she's just like a rat. She's really bad. Maybe there's a chance she really does love Lockjaw, or like has some sort of fascination with him. But then seeing it again, you see like all these faces of her just like looking so downtrodden after her encounters. And it's just clear she's really only doing this to help the revolution. And she's like is using sex as a battlefield. And then, yeah, on this rewatch, what really struck me was when she was like leaving her family that last time to go on the mission, it really felt like she was lying to herself when she was yelling at Bob Ghetto Pat at this point that he's like selfish or stupid. It felt like she was just scared and trying to run. And there's of course like a postpartum depression angle you can get there. And I'm not trying to forgive her because obviously her ratting on those people is obviously really bad. She's the problem that keeps giving. But I think she's a really interesting, complicated character that can't be fit into one good or bad box.
I think it was I liked that they I thought it was a good way to kind of balance it out because it starts out in a very in your face like Viva la Revolution, like it was very in your face, and then it kind of shows all these characters are like extremely flawed and they're kind of failures in many ways. Like Leo DiCaprio kind of spins out, is just like smoking weed all day, and then like the other guy,
an alcohol lover.
Yeah. Then this other guy who's like does like the radio comms or whatever. It's like
hey, he's still doing it.
Yeah,
he's still got his radio show.
He was still doing it. He was podcasting to the revolutionaries, I guess.
He was doing his little radio show.
But then he kind of folds immediately.
Well, hey, but his sister.
I know it's his
Come
sister.
on.
I know they've threatened his sister, but it's like it's understandable that he would fold, but he does fold.
But see,
quite quickly.
Yeah.
So that seemed to me like they were like showing two different like.
And also the topic of people folding, I just want to say real quick that it's also so funny that PTA is like, I'm going to have a non-binary character in my movie. And then they're going to sell out fucking Jason Finney. They're going to sell out the daughter.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, dude, PTA, how
couldn't make
you?
his
Poor
mind up.
Bobo.
His name's...
This is Bobo. You don't remember that? Do you don't remember that whole scene? That fucking killed me first time in the theater. When,
that's really...
You remember Leo's like, what's that guy's name? The one with the lipstick. That's Bobo. Bobo.
Oh, that's good.
Bluto.
Sounds like a pet name.
Well, that's also, I think it's so funny. It's a perfect combination of Pynchon, the author who had all the crazy names, and the modern day to have like someone with like an interesting chosen name. But okay, let's not get too far away from like the opening section before we get into the second section. Because I also just wanted to say on the first section that I think it's interesting going back to it because when you first watch it, at least for me, it was like kind of like blood pumping and like, oh, this is like the revolution. Here we go. And then once you've seen where it ends up and you go back, it's like, damn, they really aren't doing much. It's like, it's cool they tore down the power grid and like blew up all those offices or whatever, but it didn't amount to much.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes that whole first sequence kind of just feel like this haze of like fun, sexy revolution that went nowhere and just made everything bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably the greatest strength of it was extremely well-paced film. Like it was very fast-paced front to back. Like it flew by even though it's a longish movie. Which you can't really say the same about Licorice Pete. So that one kind of just like hangs around and drags its feet.
That's different though, because that's such like purposefully a hang movie.
No, I know that's the intention, but it's still.
No, but I'm so excited.
Enjoyed this more.
This movie is just like, it just goes and goes. Especially that first section. That's why I think it's so cool that it's just like it's basically like a music video and so much ground is covered.
Yeah, there's the great score. Is it Johnny Greenwood?
Johnny Greenwood.
Yeah.
Oh, incredible.
It's kind of like almost drives you insane a little bit because it's like very repetitive, like piano, like plinking on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes on for a really long time, so it's kind of like it feels like this really long extended scene. It's like a 30-minute section probably where they're like kind of running around trying to figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps on going and going and going, and it's very like, it's very involving. Like it's definitely like that was a very strong part of the film.
Yeah, because definitely the music and the editing, both two huge things to talk about. Because I think, are you referencing the section with the phone and running through the city in the middle? Yeah, it's so crazy because it's like intercut between like Bob and Sergio, the kids getting interrogated, Regina Hall in the car, and like it feels all just like one scene and one fast like moment, but it ends. It is like a 30-minute like kind of sprawling multi-character.
Yeah, that was very well done.
No, it's
that was good.
So impressive. And so I feel like if we want to transition to like the post time skip section.
Yeah, that's kind of the.
It's kind of the movie.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really. It slows down for only like a couple minutes before it.
Yeah. But that scene is
back
so gold of him in the classroom, like
the
better
parent
be teaching the
conference.
right history.
Yeah.
Well, because first of all, one quick thing I wanted to ask: what did you think about the title card drop?
When she's walking,
He's walking into the bank.
I
don't know if you.
I guess it was fine. I don't know if I really thought about it.
No, sorry. Yeah, I personally find it to be the most randomly placed title card drop.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the most epic.
Because picture this.
Title card drop.
Don't you think it would have been so baller if it dropped at the time jump? Like you're 40 minutes into the movie and you time jump to, fucking her in the karate studio and it's like 16 years later. Not much has changed. One battle after another,
Yeah.
Don't you think that would have been baller?
It's kind of like in Good Time when they drop the title. Actually, they drop it at the start, but the opening credits are like 30 minutes into the film. But I mean, I would have been cool if they did that.
But so second section past the first one, it definitely turns into more of like you could almost call it like a stoner action comedy.
I suppose, yeah. It's it doesn't linger too long, thankfully. It's kind of like sets up the characters a little bit, gets their dynamic.
Fast.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember like what exactly happens. Like they go, he has the parent teacher conference, then
So we got the PTA meeting.
And he goes at home.
Basically, they're at home.
And then she goes with her friends.
And then she goes to the prom. Well, that's the thing. That's why it's like...
So it's not that much.
That's the thing. Rewatching it, it's just so... I think the script is just so crazy tight. Because, like, so much happens. But then you rewatch it and it's like so much, like, doesn't happen. It's like literally the scene where she goes, like, off to the prom is, like, the first scene of that and like only scene of them together until they reunite, and it establishes so much. And it needs to, I think it's a great scene. I think they're both so good in that. I guess it's a good time to ask, what did you think about Leonardo DiCaprio as Bob Ferguson?
I think he's a cool guy. I think Leonardo's a cool guy. He definitely lives and teaches what he preaches in the film in his own personal life. But
I feel like Perfidia Beverly Hills was closer in age to him than his usual GF.
That's true. But he definitely seems a little bit less revolutionary IRL. It's
Yeah.
fun to. That's definitely one thing I was.
Well, that's a whole other
probably
angle.
I know it is another angle, but it's definitely one thing. Like little thought that was distracting me for a lot of it was like, oh, this is a fun little cosplay moment for Leonardo DiCaprio. Not that his performance was bad or anything, but knowing how he is IRL,
Yeah,
it was
and,
funny
like,
to me. I was like, oh, this is a fun little cosplay
his
for him.
private jet and his fucking hotel in Israel.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, if we want to get into that, I kind of wanted to focus on the movie before we get into.
Oh no,
like,
I didn't mean to derail it.
No, I didn't think that's what I addressed. I think that's like a really interesting aspect to it, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how I think what makes this work as a political movie is that it's not really a political movie. It's just like a good piece of drama. You know what I mean? And like the less you attach it to the politics and more to just its themes of like parenthood and yada yada. I think
that is the thing that was, I guess, making it harder for me to. That felt like there was kind of like a little bit of a barrier to like fully getting into the characters because of the political angle. I was like, maybe it was just the way I watch movies could just be a me thing, but I was personally just like, I was kind of like trying to figure out the angle of like, okay, how is he viewing the characters? Like, what is he trying to like say with the characters? And I felt like the villain character was like funny, but I thought he was too cartoonish to take seriously. He felt like the least grounded character.
So,
and so
hold up. Don't get too
found it hard to relate to some aspects of the characters.
Yes, but so I just want to say, like, on that, I think it's like really, I guess this is why I think this is going down such an interesting path. I mean, I guess I'm the one who brought up Leo.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think Leo is such an interesting guy to separate the art from the artist with, in the sense that like you're so right that it's like obviously like in real life. Like, let's not even talk about the movie we disagree on that you did your whole solo rant on.
Oh,
last week. Let's just talk about a movie we can both agree is bad. Yeah. Don't Look Up, which is obviously like the most in-your-face pro-environmental movie of all time. And it's like, sure, he gives his like millions to his foundations or whatever, but then he's still like flying a private jet and like owns like 5 yachts or whatever. And it can feel very...
disingenuous,
hypocritical, yes, but that's the whole point.
Performative.
It's so weird though, because then you like hear him in an interview talking about it earnestly, and you see these performances, and just in my opinion, these performances are all like, let's just talk about this one particularly. I think like works really well. It's just a really great performance, and he clearly knew the kind of like themes that were kind of going into the whole project. And so my whole point is that it's just kind of, he's a weird example of separating the art from the artist, where like, I think he is a great actor, and somehow, somehow he does these movies that some would, I guess, call progressive or whatever really well. And he knows how to engage with the material, even if sometimes his real life doesn't, he's just a hypocrite, I guess. I guess you can be a hypocrite and a good actor.
But I would argue it's like I think some people could say you could argue it's a genuine critique of the film, because there's always, it's harder, but you can like try and make a movie with like people who aren't as big name, and like that like adds a lot to the context in which people will view a film. So like, it definitely, you need to kind of have the big A-listers to sell the film, but it also can affect how the audience perceives it a lot.
Well, I just feel like the problem is then we get to an interesting angle where it's like, but so if the movie can really represent something, or just like not even represent something politically, but represent something maybe emotionally or cinematically, if it can pull that off, then maybe if someone watches it in 50, 100 years, everything about it can click for them and be something really important to them in their life. And it doesn't matter what Leonardo DiCaprio's real life, shit was. Like, it just matters that he came in, clocked in, and gave the perfect performance for the film.
Yeah.
And it's just complicated.
No, he was good. There's definitely been times where I thought Leonardo DiCaprio was bad.
Yeah.
I think he's mostly pretty good.
Yeah.
There's just a couple times where like he tries to do something and it doesn't work.
Doesn't click.
Killers of the Flower Moon, in my opinion.
Hey,
but
we'll have our debate on the next podcast.
But for something like something that's like comedy / serious, he's really good, and also physical performances like with The Revenant, and then like Wolf of Wall Street, like that's
so physical.
Like that's pretty physical and comedic.
Yeah.
And he does a good job with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like he's able to be very expressive in
and
that way. And so I think he does a good job in the certain things. And then there's certain times where, you know, he tries to do something and I don't think it's as that it's.
But it's like, what do you think about this though? It's like, no matter what you think about the qualities of the films or performances, isn't it kind of cool that he kind of like came up as this like just like the beautiful face, you know, like the romantic sweetheart, and then like basically ever since like at least Wolf of Wall Street,
likes playing the villains a lot, which I think is he worked. It
yeah,
works.
like either a villain or like a fool, you know,
Yeah.
like even like here he's not a villain, but he's still like he's not a heartthrob. He's just like a fucking kind of a loser, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I will say that's also another angle why I think...
I do respect that, though, because a lot of actors will refuse to play characters like that. Mm-hmm. The Rock Johnson.
Exactly. Like, he
definitely... I think he definitely has a good batting average. Like, he's usually pretty good. But then, you know, you get a Don't Look Up, and it's like, what the hell is this?
I think, despite everything, I think that's a bad movie. He clocks in such a great performance in that movie. Yeah, I don't know if you ever actually like sat down and watched it.
I mean, I think I've seen like little bits and pieces and like clips, and
he's just like, he plays, you know, because he plays this like scientist, and he like makes this choice to have his character. Like I read an interview, this was specifically his choice, like has like this constant like chest pain. And it actually like really adds to like not only him looking like a fucking idiot all the time, but it adds like the anxiety when like he's supposed to be like, God, what's going on here? Oh God. It's just, he's good. He's a great actor.
That's it's like a Reddit mod type of affliction. Like he's very
Reddit mod in that movie.
Yeah. There was certain things, I think, okay, these are like, again, into like the nitty gritty, I guess. There are certain, I liked certain things. You can tell a director is really good at or a director / writer is really good when like they can like present stuff that's like stuff that they don't really know about, but make it seem like genuine or convincing. There was a scene where it was like a bunch of like girls in the bathroom like hitting the vape, and I was like, wow. I just like, this is such an autistic thing to even like linger on, but I was just like, wow, hats off. You made it look real and convincing, and I was like, wow, good job.
No, I think,
but then there's certain parts where it's also just like, I don't know. So there was certain, it was kind of, it's a mixed bag. There's certain, I think it's hard. It is, I would imagine it's really hard though to accurately show like young generation stuff.
But I mean, I wouldn't mind even keep mining that point, because it's just like, I also love how in the dance scene, like they're playing fucking like Mobamba.
Yeah, I was like, what time period is this taking place? Because that was like what we would have been listening to.
Yeah.
Like, our senior
that's
year,
a whole other question. First of all, do you want a small beer?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
I would
take
love
it.
to.
Take
Thank
it.
you.
We need it for the pod.
So I thought that was funny. That was enjoyable.
Sorry, I gotta get back on my.
I was also there was this weird thing where, because I'm stupid, I was watching it thinking it took place in the 1960s for like the first half of the film, and then they have a smartphone, and I'm like, oh wait, it's not the 1960s.
What do you mean 1960s?
Yeah, because I thought that's when like the novel was like based upon or something like that.
I literally told you the book was about Reagan.
Oh, the 80s. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the 80s, not 60s.
MF.
But
I told you
I
it was
know,
Reagan.
I know.
But to be fair,
but I think it maybe lends credit to a lot of films will like do the mishmash of like time and like based off like the production design, like the cars. I was looking at the cars and I was like, oh, this is like, I like the way they've mishmashed the like it's contemporary, but like a lot of the things and a lot of the items and objects are like very
Yeah.
older, like the cars that they were driving and stuff like that.
Yeah. So let me just important note. So the book, it was published in the 80s, about the 80s kind of, but it's about 60s revolutionaries basically
Okay.
who failed, and now they're just like in the 80s now.
Gotcha.
And so that's why it's kind of interesting to consider what the time period is actually supposed to be. I was going to ask you that. I guess you thought it was the 60s.
I mean, all right. To be fair, it's like I think they did a good job of. I think it felt like an intentional choice to like keep it more mysterious at the start, and then like obviously in the future they have like the cell phone, so they like. I guess like they're taking selfies with like Beverly Hills. What's her name?
Perfidia Beverly Hills. How could you forget that? That was ringing in my head.
I remember Beverly Hills. That was the iconic one. But they take selfie. I think that was like the first moment.
But so let me just say, so there's a kind of like low, not really debate. So it is obvious, like not obviously, but so it is intentionally like kind of a mixed, weird time period. But there's sort of like some debate or just like questioning, thinking about, it's just like, so is the first segment in like the 2000s and the second segment is 2025? Or is the first segment in 2025 and the second segment's in an unchanged 2036 or whatever,
Or maybe it was 2019 because of Mobamba, and then 16 years earlier with early 2000s.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows at this point?
That's the thing. I do think it's an interesting thematic choice that the past and the future really do not look different at all. And of course, that's the first thing you hear after the time jump, that not much has changed.
Yeah, I think the thing that set this one apart from his other films was, excuse me, definitely a lot less character focused. Like, it might have been his least. I haven't seen all of his films, but seemed like the least character focused. Even though like he does set up very like
there's a lot of characters
interesting,
to get to,
different characters, but it's kind of like more focused on the thriller elements, like the kind of suspense, which I thought. I mean, there was good. Like it worked for most of the movie. So I was enjoying the movie. I think this one will probably not like sink. It probably won't be something that like I sink my teeth into later on and be like, oh wow, there's like, maybe I'll probably will notice other stuff, but it's not something that's like, his best, like Punch Drunk Love, There'll Be Blood, those kind of like the characters really you can sit with, and like it's very much just like being with the characters and like feeling them on a many different levels. And this was kind of like a much more visceral, like okay, like setting up, making you sympathetic to the different characters and making some little interesting little bits about each one, and then going a lot more like full steam ahead into like the action, like kind of in the middle of the movie when there's that long sequence, and then the rest of the movie is like very fast paced, like that.
I kind of half agree, because it's a movie with a lot of characters, and it really like spreads out its time, and that's a very Pynchon thing to do. He'll always have like the wide net of characters, and I feel like sometimes it can be sometimes maybe it can like not focus on them as much as you'd want. That's the thing I was thinking when we were walking out today, that's just like, I love this as a movie. And obviously it needs to be a movie because it needs like the spectacle and all that. But if only it was like a TV show, in the sense that there's so many different great characters and dynamics that you'd love to see deepened and explored more.
I'd say it's worth watching.
Yeah,
I think it's worth watching. If I was going to give it a score,
Let's
6,
just do
7.
thumbs up, thumbs down. I thought you were just saying I don't like
6,
numbers.
7.
That's the whole. He was 6-7ing me the whole time.
No, but I actually think it probably is like a 7. Maybe low 7. But I give it a 1 thumbs up. Like I wouldn't give it a you need to see it. I would give it if you like PTA. Yeah. If you like action,
if you like film, like I feel like if you like movies, it's like
it's a good theater experience.
Yeah.
I do think I found it annoying at times. Like there were times more so than other PTA movies where I was like, okay, like I get what it's trying to do, but it's not landing for me, or just like
Yeah.
there were certain parts that didn't connect with me as well as his other stuff, but the parts that worked, like, really did work. So I would definitely give it a recommend. I don't know what do you think about it on the third watch?
I like that we're like acting like we're like saying recommend or don't recommend, even though we've already spoiled it like the whole way through. So if anyone's still here, well, if you're still here and you had fun listening to this conversation, you'd probably have a lot more fun.
I think people don't care about spoilers as much these days, but maybe they do. It's also been a good amount of time since.
Yes, but if I were a Roger Ebert and I had to look to the camera and like say something after that, it's like, I'd say definitely on my rewatches, I've definitely seen the seams, and I feel like there's a lot of seams, and I think this is a very bumpy, fuzzy movie. It's a fuzzy ride. I wouldn't call it perfect, but I think that's what to me makes it so unique and so different, especially in the modern cinematic landscape, especially compared to other PTA movies. And it just gives you a ton to think about while it just is a ton of fun. I was fucking, even on my third watch, I was fucking cheesing this whole way through. There were so many moments where I was just like, yes, so much great music. It's visceral.
Score was great.
Johnny Greenwood's score, and then there's like a few needle drops, like 4 or 5, 6, but there's 3 in particular that are just out of sight.
A lot of weird, odd choices for like, just like it's a scene that I was like, this is the scene you wouldn't expect. Like they're playing Dirty Work by Steely Dan, and it's just
it works so
it's
well.
It's not bad. I'm just saying it was very unconventional.
That might be needle drop of the century.
But it's like a karate training montage. But it's interesting. It's definitely is interesting. I found it interesting.
Yeah.
But
leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the Patreon.
Subscribe to the Patreon and leave a comment if you can hear us, see us.
We'll include your comment in the next step.
We'll give it a little heart. The channel can heart. And we'll make you feel appreciated for all your great support.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, y'all.
You guys rock.
Oh yeah.
All right. Peace.
Peace.